Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kamande Esther. If this is your first time, welcome to the Kamande Esther channel. Welcome to Mondays with Kamande. I create Christian content or content inspired by the Bible, by God, content geared. And the vision is to create content that inspires your heart closer to God or back to God. One video at a time. If this is not your first time, karibuni sana, welcome back. It's good to have you back. I'm here with good news, and I hope this is going to be good news. Yeah, it's good news, I think. I would like to introduce, or rather, what we're talking about today, or what I am talking about today, is a series that is so close to my heart, and it's a series that talks about, or it's a series about phases of life that we all go through, and we need to, or rather, we are going to go through. Some of these phases are phases that we will go through. Probably you'll go through them together with your friends, or like in the same time, in the same season, and sometimes you're going to go through them in different seasons. Either way, we will go through them, at one point in our lives or the other. It's a series the Holy Spirit and I are calling the Before I Do series. Insert drum roll somewhere there. That was just me trying to just It's a relationship series, and the reason why I feel really nervous about talking about relationships is because I am the last person who should be speaking about relationships. And this is me speaking about relationships not as an expert. And I think it's only going to be 1 or 2 episodes where I'm going to be alone speaking about them. And that's because I am highly inexperienced when it comes to relationships, or rather, inexperienced when it comes to relationships the way, or in the context that I'd love us to talk about, or in the context that I'd want us to talk about, or in the context where, or in the context that God wants us to actually just talk about relationships. I am really inexperienced when it comes to that. So I was telling God how I feel like I'm not the right person who should be doing this series, someone else should be doing this series, someone who has some good years of experience when it comes to relationships. Lakini sasa sisi ndo tuko sisi ndo tuko, mimi ndo niko. I think this is just me consoling myself. However, the Before I Do series is really close to my heart because I think we can all see we're in a time, or rather we are in this season where a lot of negativity is being highlighted when it comes to relationships, and more so relationships in church. And when I'm talking about relationships, I'm not talking about your best friend, go best friend, go best friend. No, I'm not talking about your best friend or your friendships. We will talk about them though at some point. And if you'd like to, listen more or understand more, or just enjoy a conversation or an episode about friendship, there's one that I did in the first day of Mondays with Kamande with my amazing friend Elsie. So you can just go through it. But in this series, it's about, or rather, we're focusing on love relationships, romantic relationships, and those intimate relationships that God desires for each and every one of us. And we're in a season, or in a period of time, or over a period of time, we've seen negative news, negative updates. There's all these stories online, and all these evident, how do I put it? There's a lot that is going on that is really being highlighted in the media, and it's negative they have a negative connotation to to relationships, to marriage, to courtship, dating, all that, to singleness actually. So I was just in a season where, or rather, I was in a season where I was just telling God, "Yo, if this is how marriage is, if this is how relationships are, hey, I'm really okay. I'm okay just being by myself, just me and you. If like this is just, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot going on, and there's a lot of mind games going on in like amongst all of us, and probably you've seen what's been going on. You've seen the domestic abuse cases. You've seen single people being victimized. You've seen divorced people being villainized. Yeah. Uh, ignore. But we've all seen all these negative things being highlighted, and it's so easy to get to that place where you're thinking, hey, as a single person, if this is what you people go through in marriage, I want none of it. Or as a married person, you're like, if this is what's happening in other marriages, I wonder what's happening or what's cooking in my marriage. It's so easy to get to that place. And we all know the enemy's agenda. The devil's agenda is to steal, kill, and destroy. And one of the ways he does that is, or how he begins doing that, is by focusing and highlighting the negativity that is going on in the world or in marriages, especially godly in a godly setting. And he highlights them, and he lies to you, and he comes and and he's lying to you, and he's telling you, oh, you want to get married, look at what this bishop's marriage went through, look at what this bishop's wife is going through, look at what this artist is going through, look at what this person is going through. This person is a Christian, but look at their marriage. This person is a Christian, but they're single and miserable and all that. And you sit back and you're like, by the way, you're right, by the way, hey, I shouldn't, I should just stay alone, But what we don't know is he'll encourage you to not desire marriage the way God wants you to desire marriage, or the way God ideally wants us to enjoy marriage. But the minute you decide that, oh, I don't want to do life, or I don't want to do relationships the godly way, and I don't want to find myself in that, sooner rather than later, you'll start finding yourself being attracted to a different way of doing relationships that have or has nothing to do with God. And I think we need to have those conversations. I believe that we need to have those conversations that build us up as Christians, as believers, that encourage us, that we encourage each other, and show each other, or rather highlight what's working. You can't always be focusing on what's not working. You can't always be focusing on what's on the negative side of things. There's also the positive side of things. And I keep saying that there's a lot of red flags and a lot of bad marriages that are highlighted, but there's a whole lot of amazing marriages that are working, but you will never hear them. You will never see them given the day or light, or given airtime on social media, or just you will never hear about them. And that's because sadly, society just likes and loves highlighting what's not working and the negative bits. Anyway, that's the whole motivating or what inspired the Before I Do series. And in this series, I'd love to share with you people that I look up to, people that we all look up to, different people, different couples, probably people that you know, people that you don't know. But I just want to invite them and have them in our space, Mondays with Kamande space, where we get to have these conversations that are edifying, conversations that are real and practical, conversations that motivate us and remind us on how to go about life with God, and how to go about life and relationships with God. And to kick us off, I think I'd just the way, like before you say I do, there's the you before the you, both of you. And I wanted to just touch kidogo on singleness, or as a single person. I've been single for quite some time, intentionally. I don't know why I did this. There are no quotes to being single. I am completely, I am a complete, happy single person. And it used to feel really weird saying I am happily single and intentionally single. And that's because of I don't want to call it the stigma out there. And I don't want to say that single people are stigmatized. Although there's that attitude that people give to single people, forgetting that they were once single themselves. So wow, that's amazing English. It should be added to the Urban Dictionary. um, I've been single for a number of years, and it was an intentional decision. And if you've read my book, and if you haven't read my book, I need to understand why. If you've read my book, there's a place where I write, there's a chapter where I talk about dealing with anger and bitterness, and dealing with and how healing for me was also seen, or some of the wounds I was healing from were from a really nasty relationship, and I chose to be single. It was a deliberate and intentional decision that I made. And I remember one time I was telling someone how I am happy being single and I'm enjoying my singlehood. And they looked at me and they were talking to me like I was incomplete, like I was broken, like something was wrong with me. And they were like, no, and they were just bringing up all these issues about children and marriage and society. And I'm thinking, and I was seated there and I'm thinking, what makes you think I'm not complete as a single person? And that forms the basis of this part one of the series. As a single person, or before you get to begin that journey towards saying I do, because I believe when you're walking towards the journey of saying I do, you have someone in your life that you're intentionally working with to in that journey before saying I do. But before you get that person, or before you align yourself with that person, there is the you. There is you before any other person. There is you as a single person. There is you as an individual. And in this season, when you're single, whether you're single and you've never been married before, or you're single as a divorcee, or you're single as a widowed, or you lost your spouse, you're in a season that is the most beautiful season, if you ask me. Like, in this entire journey, relationship journey, I believe personally, and I think it's because I've not enjoyed any other season or any other phase of relationships, but I believe that when you're single, that's the most content season, or rather that's one, okay, let me say it's one of the happiest, or it's the beginning of the happiest season, or the happiest, yeah, that's how I should put it. It's the beginning of the happiest season of your life. As a single person, you're walking around and you're living your life, and there's this whole narrative that we've been given, that that everyone is aiming towards getting married. Marriage is the only goal that we've been conditioned to believe when it comes to relationships, that's the only goal. And so you'll find people, and I find it to be so heartbreaking and so sad. You can't live your life just thinking about one goal. You can't wake up in the morning, go back to bed, wake up the next day, and it's a repeat, and it's a cycle of you just waking up and longing. It's okay to desire marriage, but the minute you start idolizing it and you start looking at yourself as not being complete, as not being whole, and you start resenting the season that you're in as a single person, then I think that's where we miss the point. I think we miss the point when we start looking at being in a singleness season as something that is really bad, or an unfortunate event. And you find people making excuses as to why they're single. I'm 36 and I'm single, but I haven't found the right person. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. And I'm thinking, no, you are 36 and you're okay. You're 40, single, and you're fine. You're 25 and single, and that's okay. You're almost 30 and you're single, and that is absolutely okay. As a single person, learn to enjoy your singleness. I was talking to a few friends of mine who are married, and I was asking them prior to coming to this recording, I was asking them, hey, by the way, if I were to ask for, like if you were to give me some few words of advice or encouragement as a single person, now that you're married and I'm your friend, what would you tell me is, what advice would you give to me in regards to being single, in regards to being, or in the season that I'm in as a single person? And I kid you not, almost all of them, the first point that they gave me was, Kamande, please enjoy your singleness. You are not broken. You are not confused. You're not lost. You're not missing out on anything. You're right on track. You are single, and there is nothing that is wrong with you. Maximize on that season. Maximize on being on the season where the season that you're in. And I was just listening to them, and I was just reading what they're telling me, and I kept thinking, oh, okay, I've been enjoying and maximizing on my season, so there's nothing wrong with me. Because sometimes you get caught up in being single and you're enjoying your life, and let me tell you, there's a lot of fun being single, and you find so much peace because you're not quote unquote accountable to someone else. So you can, you're like a free molecule. You can do anything that you want. You can go anywhere that you want, and you're not worried that you haven't reported myself, or I haven't told my partner where I'm at, or I need to consult with my partner about what I need to do or where I'm going, and I need to let them know where I'm going, and they might say, no. And as a single person, you get caught up in that, and you get caught up in that freedom, quote unquote, and you might just start thinking, oh, probably I'm going about it the wrong way. But when they were telling me to enjoy and maximize my season, they were kind of affirming what I believe that every single person ought to do. And my encouragement today in this first part is, just enjoy your singleness. Enjoy, and first of all, understand that you're a single person and you're a whole individual, and it's okay. You're not missing out on anything. You're not committing a crime. It's not a crime to be single, and no one should pressure you to get into or to go to a different phase in this journey, in this relationship, cycle. No one should pressure you, and you shouldn't feel pressured to take it to the next level if you're not ready to. And you will only know that you're ready to go into the next phase once you sit down and ask yourself, okay, am I content being single? Am I happy being single? Have you maximized in this? Have you maximized the season that you're in? Have you maximized the flexibility that you have? You probably enjoy traveling. How much travel have you done as a single person? Are you holding on to the travel experiences? Are you holding on to what is it called? You're holding on to doing your masters. You're holding on to doing something in your life because you're thinking, oh, let me just get married first, and then I will do this and this. Let me just get married first, and then I'll buy land. Let me just get married first, and then I'll buy a car. Let me get married first, and then I'll start that business. Or when I get married, I will, I'll travel and I'll do all these things. It's a lie. You will probably not even do all that. When you get married, you won't have, there'll be a lot more going on in your life when you're in that other phase, that travel and all this, not impromptu rather, but all these other things and desires that you have as a single person, they will take the back seat, because you'll have a spouse, you'll have children, you'll have so many things to consider. So when you're free, when you're a free molecule, learn to maximize your season. Learn to enjoy this season. Learn to love yourself. Oof, learn to have fun by yourself and enjoy this season. And just remember that there is nothing that is wrong with you. You're single for a reason. There's a lot that you need to do. There's a lot that you need to think about in this season just before you say I do. And we will touch more on that in the next part of the series. So I will leave you hanging for now, suspense. And then I will see you in the next part in my next episode. But until then, this is the Before I Do series with Kamande. Hey. Okay, this is the Before I Do series with Kamande, and this is Mondays with Kamande, and I enjoy doing this for you. And if this is your first time and you haven't subscribed, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you have a group of friends, or you have a friend that you've just been discussing about all these matters, relationship and all that, and you're like, oh, by the way, there's an episode I watched, and there's this girl talking about relationships, just share this episode with them. Let them know that the conversation has started, and I look forward to having more and more conversations with you. And I know that you will come back and come back and come back and bring more people. We have tea in this channel, and we give out books and so many other goodies. I hope. But until I can see you another time, please don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and I will see you in my next episode. Bye.